from offense, defense. Couldn't get anything going offensively. And when you did, you had a penalty, to bring back a big play. Defensively, kind of everything that's been haunting this team so far this season kind of pops back up in crucial moments. You look at the rushing yards in particular. Carolina, without Teddy Bridgewater, without Christian McCaffrey, you thought, hey, Lions are getting to play him at a good time. They still rushed for 116 yards, and the quarterback play. You talk about P.J. Walker, his first start in the NFL, coming out and just really didn't make many mistakes. I mean, he had the 2 interceptions in the end zone, but it didn't cost the team any. He was able to control the ball for the Panthers. You looked at the time of possession, 36, almost 37 minutes of time of possession. I mean, that's just – you could tell Carolina wanted to come in this game and run the ball and throw some play actions and hit big plays when they had the chance, and they just flat out outplayed Detroit, outcoached Detroit, and out-executed them in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, this was a rough performance from the Lions in Carolina. I mean, you talk about the comparison of those stats. The Lions were injured today, but the Carolina injuries were probably even more costly as far as key players for them in Teddy Bridgewater and Christian McCaffrey. But they still did not look like it when it came to their play on the field. They were able to outperform the Lions in every way, like you said, TJ. A couple things stick out to me. The drops were an issue today for the Lions. Those were early on. They seemed to kind of get things back on track after that, but the offense just couldn't get anything going. They tried to establish the run early, and it wasn't that they weren't passing the ball either. It was that they were dropping the ball when they did have opportunities, and they just really could not recover from a rough start on offense.
Yeah, and I think, last week we talked a lot about the offensive line, how they played really well against Washington. It was disappointing to see that type of game today from them. You thought maybe they can get back on track because that has been a unit that's really been playing well for the Lions for the majority of the season. But today, Stafford gets sacked 5 times. I know that's not all on the offensive line. Carolina was doing a great job of blitzing. But when I watched the run plays, the 1st and 10s, and a lot of Carolina was doing a great job of blitzing. But when I watched the run plays, the 1st and 10s, and a lot of those, Carolina's giving you a 3-man front. And you're sitting there saying, they're giving us 3 guys on the line of scrimmage. We need to average about 8 yards a run if they're going to give us that type of defense. And to see the 2-yard gain, the 1-yard gain, the 2-yard gain was just so disheartening that they couldn't get anything going on the ground. So, you can't blame this loss on any particular unit. I'm sure everybody sitting in that locker room right now is disappointed with how they played individually as a unit as well. The really whole team just kind of came out flat, and it was just, for me, it was just so disappointing because you had this chance to get back to 5-5 and 500, and you're going into a Thursday Thanksgiving Day game, which is always the biggest game in this city, and the team just gets so excited for that, and you have a chance to really kind of turn the season around going into the last couple games of the year, winnable games, and you just go out there and just lack of energy, lack of focus, and Carolina, an undermanned Carolina team, they showed that they deserved that win. They showed that they were the better team today.
Yeah, they definitely did. You guys are looking at the running back comparison for the Lions. Adrian Peterson and Kerryon Johnson in the backfield today for Detroit, considering DeAndre Swift has that concussion he's dealing with. He wasn't able to go today in Carolina, but neither of those running backs were able to get it done. 7 carries for 18 yards for Adrian Peterson, 6 carries for 17 yards for Kerryon Johnson, both of them averaging less than 3 yards a carry. Those are not statistics that you want to see. Why did you feel like the run game wasn't working, TJ?
It's a good question, Tori. As I was watching the game, I'm trying to figure out Carolina's got 6 guys in the box, and you got 7 blockers. I mean, why are you not being able to get those 5, 8, 10-yard runs? It really came down just to execution, though. I thought there was a lot of plays where initially there was a hole wide open, and maybe the running back bounced back, and then the next play there's no holes. It's tough on running backs, man. They've got a split second to make a move and then try to go. Carolina just did a really nice job of kind of showing one thing and being a little deceptive, whether it was the run game or the pass game. I mean, there was looks where you're saying, oh, they're only rushing 3 guys. The next thing you know, 7 guys are in the backfield blitzing. And it was very similar in the run game as well. They gave you a look that basically said, go ahead, run it. We dare you to run the ball. And Detroit did, and they crashed down, and they were able to stop it. I think the one thing when you look at the running game is that the longest run they had was an 8-yard run. I mean, you talk about, as coaches talk about, and I know Darrell Bevel, you talk about getting explosive plays, getting the momentum back on your side, and hitting a big 20 or 30-yard run. You don't need them every single time you hand the ball off, but to pop one of those is going to change the way that the defensive coordinator is going to call the game, because now he's saying, okay, well, now we got to stack the box a little bit. That's going to open up everything for your passing game. The fact that they weren't able to get any of those explosive plays really kind of sums up the whole day for the offense. I mean, they didn't get really anything going from the start of the game.
Yeah, they definitely didn't. And I know that Matt Patricia's goal is always to establish the run first. They were not able to do that early today. I'm sure he was asked about it. He spoke with reporters just a few minutes ago in Carolina virtually. Let's hear what he had to say.
Very disappointing game. Did not go the way that we wanted it to. In fact, it's just the complete opposite of everything that we talked about trying to do this week. So give Carolina credit. I think obviously they played really hard. They had a good game plan. I think they did a good job on all three phases. And, we got to go out and we got to coach. We had to coach a lot better and get things right, and we got to go play better. So, unfortunately, we got a short week here. We're going to have to learn quick, and we got to get going. But, just really didn't get it started here very well from a team standpoint. And, we got to go do better. So just dive into some questions here and go from there.
Justin, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, we understand you were shorthanded on offense with Galladay and Swift and Amendola out, but I'm just curious, what were you hoping to accomplish with the game plan that you guys put together for this one offensively specifically?
Yeah. Obviously some guys are out, but some guys got to step up and play well in their spots. And certainly we feel we have enough ability to do that. We just didn't get that done. I think obviously, for us, we always want to try to run the ball. We didn't run the ball well enough today and protect the quarterback. I think they were able to get some different pressure packages dialed up against us. And certainly, we fell behind there, then obviously kind of, spin it from that end and, just didn't do some fundamental things well enough to execute.
And on the illegal formation penalty.
Fundamental things well enough to execute.
And on the illegal formation penalty, I know you'll probably put that on yourself or the coaching staff, but it seems to me like players need to know how to line up correctly. What happened there?
Yeah, we were obviously trying to get something going there. Had a good play that we've been working on here for a while, and just didn't get it correctly put in position. So I got to do a better job of making sure that we have the details handled in that situation.
Thank you, Matt.
Mike Rothstein.
Sorry, I was muted there for a second. Hey, Matt, you've said play better, coach better. You've said that a lot. I think I asked you this a few weeks back, but I'm going to ask it again. Why at this point should people believe that you're the coach to get them to play better and coach better, considering what has been out there so far this year?
Yeah. Look, we're gonna go to work every day and try to do the best we can to improve. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's what we do. So, from that aspect of it, we got to go to work. We got to do some things better and go out and practice it and go out and perform it. I mean, that's what this game is. And obviously execution is going to go one way or another, and unfortunately, it didn't go very well for us today. So we got to get it turned around pretty quick.
Why does that keep happening though? What is it about the coaching, the execution that's just not translating and hasn't translated for, most of the last couple of years?
Yeah. Again, every week is different for us from that standpoint. So obviously it didn't go the way we needed it to this week. Some weeks it has and some weeks it has not. We just got to be consistent with it.
Has your confidence in yourself gotten shaken at this point?
No, we just come to work every day and go. So, I think from that standpoint, we got a quick turnaround here. So we got to get going.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Justin Rose.
Hey, Matt, at what point do you take this personally that it's not translating you have to believe in the formula you're putting out there and it's not translating. Do you take that personally at all?
I think for me, obviously each week is going to be a little bit different. Obviously when we don't play well, it's not always the same thing. So from that aspect of it, we're just trying to improve those areas and hopefully have some, carry over from week to week and the things that we've improved on and keep pushing forward.
And at what point, do do you start to worry about losing the locker room? Is that even question at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we have really good guys here. We got guys that are fighting every day and working really hard. So, I mean, that's the one thing I love this locker room. These guys are strong. They want to win. They're trying to compete. They're trying to do everything right. And, that's really the best part for me is that when you get into things like this and you get into the meeting rooms, you get into the classrooms, and you get to just coaching and teaching and, the guys that you see how much they want to try to be successful. I mean, that's the joy of coaching. So those are the fun parts.
Dave?
Hi, Matt. You didn't really answer Mike's question about why people should still believe in you as head coach. So let me ask it a different way. How safe do you feel in your job as head coach right now?
I mean, I think again for us, I mean, we just kind of focus 1 week at a time and all that stuff. I don't, I've had a philosophy for a long time. I go to work every day to try to earn my job. I mean, that's just what I do. That doesn't matter if it's coaching, doing engineering. I don't care if I'm in school. So, look, I'm just going to go to work and work hard. We all know that. We know that we're in the NFL. That's what it is. So we gotta go do better.
Do you think on that regard, do you think you've earned the right to continue coaching this team?
I mean, again, I'm just gonna, do what I do here and just go get on the plane, go grade the film, we're gonna get back to the game.
How much did Stafford's thumb affect the offense today?
I mean, I think again for us, it's got to be about coaching and putting those guys in good position and put out execution. There's a lot of things out there that were an issue for us.
And then last thing for me was the late quarterback change from Bridgewater to Walker. Was that an issue at all for your defense? How do you think your defense reacted to that sort of last second, change?
I mean, we got to be ready for all things. I mean, we know certainly that was a situation that could come up, and it did. And, like I said, give them credit. They did a much better job executing than we did.
Thank you.
Okay, two more, Tim and then Wojo. Tim, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, being down the skill positions you knew your offensive line probably had to play pretty well today. How disappointed were you in the 5 sacks, 11 quarterbacks hits? It seems like Matthew was under duress pretty much all day today. Yeah,
I mean, that's not good. We got to protect our quarterback. We got to give him a pocket so we can get the ball downfield, and we got to do a better job there. So certainly those aren't good numbers.
Okay, Bob, last question.
Yeah, Matt, just belaboring the obvious point, and just to follow up, what makes you think this can work here now for you with this team, with Bob Quinn, with everything that's going on? That record, nothing would seem to give any indication it can work here. What gives you hope that it can?
I mean, Bob, honestly, for me, I just grind it out every week, but I mean, that's just really what it is. There's nothing more than that. We got to go to work. We got to do better. I mean, the locker room is great. They want to work. They want to try to win. We want to try to win. We're trying to win, and we got to do better. We didn't play well enough today. That's the bottom line. And like I said, give Carolina credit.
Great,
thanks,
Coach.
This year, it's been more challenging for kids to get 60 minutes of play every day.
And while some of our favorite team sports and activities might not be happening, there's still a ton kids can do.
There's running, bike riding,
yoga, very calming.
I think that's karate.
And even dancing.
He's got some moves. To see more ways to help kids be active,
visit ahealthiermichigan.org.
Priority shift. From rush hours to slow breakfasts. From busy schedules to scheduled downtime. And as life happens, shifts and surprises are sure to follow. At Priority Health, we'll always be ready to shift with you. From complicated policies to ones written by humans. From a plan for 1 to a plan for 3. Because your priorities have shifted, maybe it's time your health insurance did too.
Welcome back into the Detroit Lions postgame show presented by Priority Health. I'm Tori Petrie. We are breaking down the Lions' 20-0 loss to the Carolina Panthers. First time this team has been shut out since 2009. TJ Lang is down at the Henry Ford Health System update desk chatting about this game with me. TJ, we just heard from the head coach, Matt Patricia, on his thoughts on this game. Definitely a tough press conference from him. Obviously very disappointed in the result today. A rough performance for the Lions across the board. What did you take away from that conversation with Matt Patricia?
It was brutal, to be honest with you. That was my first reaction. Obviously, you play a game like that, you're going to have to answer a whole lot of tough questions. But when I was watching the game, I don't think there was any part of me that said, "What are the coaches doing? What is this scheme? What are they play? What are the play calls?" The first thing that stood out was just, gosh, the players just aren't making plays today, and that to me wasn't a coaching issue. It was just whether offensively just not protecting the quarterback or dropping passes, and defensively hitting a guy at the line of scrimmage and letting him still go gain 4 or 5 yards and missing sacks in the backfield. I mean, that's not a coaching issue. That's a player issue, and that comes down to just executing the plays and finishing the plays, and we just didn't see that today. So I feel bad for Coach. Obviously, he has to stand up there and take those tough questions. But, when you're a 4-6 team, I mean, it's not going to get better until you start winning some games, and they had a golden chance today to, like we talked about, get back to 5-5 and just completely came out flat and did not do anything in that game to deserve a win.
Yeah, one play in that game sticks out as kind of a summary of how that game went, and that was the touchdown that was taken off the board by a penalty. It was a Matthew Stafford deep throw to Marvin Jones Jr. Looked like it was going to be a touchdown. The play was called for illegal formation. What did you make of the Lions at that point in the game?
It was frustrating. Obviously down 17-0 there earlier in the fourth quarter. You need a big play. You need a spark. They called a play that like Coach said, they've been practicing for a long time, and just all it takes is one guy to forget maybe his assignment or alignment, and you take a big play off the board. So it was just kind of a microcosm of the day that the Lions had. Just you get a chance to finally go make a big play and try to get some momentum back on your side, and just doesn't work out. So, that was a tough one. Obviously, would have been nice to. I still don't know if they score that touchdown if they win the game, but it would have been a nice touchdown regardless of after getting shut out. But it was just kind of sums up the day. You get a chance to go make a big play, and you have one, or that's all it takes is one or two guys to forget what he's supposed to do and wipes a big play off the board.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the comparison between a couple of different plays. You have that 51-yard would-be touchdown taken off the board, but then the Panthers had a 52-yard catch from DJ Moore. He beat Jeff Okudah on the play. You look at those two plays side by side, the Panthers were able to get it done there. Then you look at the field goals. The Panthers had a 56-yard field goal. Matt Prater missed a 51-yard field goal. You just had plays like that throughout the game where they just went the Panthers' way. The Panthers really outplayed the Lions in every facet in this game. The one thing that the Lions did well was that they were able to get some takeaways, but unfortunately the offense wasn't able to do anything with those. Both Amani Oruwariye and Desmond Trufant had interceptions in the end zone, but TJ, the offense couldn't do anything once they got the ball back from those turnovers. What did you make of that?
Well, I thought the plays were nice. I mean, obviously, for a guy like Amani O to come in and it seemed like at that point of the game was maybe rotating a little bit with Okudah, and Okudah lets up the big play, so they go back to Amani, and he shows up and makes the big play in the end zone. Usually when you get two takeaways, especially in the red zone like that, in your own end zone, you're taking 14 points off the board for the opposition. You'd like to think that the other your team's going to go down and score and have a chance to win the game. But regardless, it was still nice to see those guys stepping up in big moments, especially after Amani's interception after the snap exchange fumble with Ragnow. Kind of just looked like he lost the grip a little bit. That was a big turnover for the Lions. But for Amani to go back there and get the interception to kind of save the points was what we thought at the time was going to be a big turnover. Didn't end up being, a difference maker in the game, but to still see the guys attacking the ball and being in the right spots and taking the ball away, you still have to like that aspect of the game.
Well, the Lions were held scoreless in this game, so you're looking at the stats from Amani Oruwariye. He had 5 tackles, 3 of those solo, obviously the 1 interception. But his play, along with Desmond Trufant's interception, are actually our plays of the game today. The Lions didn't score on offense, so obviously we had to go defense today with those plays, those 2 big plays. TJ, I want you to walk us through those 2 highlights from this game.
Well, with Amani's, it was just a simple kind of zone coverage. You know, I don't know. Are we going to wait for the plays to come up here? It was just
we'll get back to those. All right, here we go. Here we go. Walk us through these.
You see him down in the corner of the end zone there. It looks like it's just good, kind of a veteran move from Amani, which is good to see. He fakes like he's going to go cover the guy in the flat, and in the last second he reads the quarterback's eyes, jumps back inside, gets a huge turnover. I mean, that's kind of a veteran move, right? Because a lot of young guys would say, oh, I'm supposed to guard the flat. I'm supposed to guard the flat. At the last second, he kind of says, I see this guy wide open back here. Let me drift back. And just a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes. This one, a great catch by Trufant. I don't really know where the ball was supposed to be thrown to, I guess, as a defensive back. You know, a lot of times you hear those guys play DBs because they can't catch the ball. It was good to see Trufant come down with the ball, but I mean, there's one Carolina receiver and 4 defensive players back there in the end zone. So yeah, I mean, it was obviously, and it doesn't matter if it's a layup or a hard-earned turnover. Anytime you get the ball taken away on you know, as a defender, especially as a DB getting interception, obviously it's a good play to have.
Yeah, obviously part of that is from P.J. Walker stepping in last second there at the quarterback position for Carolina. Speaking of which, the injuries were a storyline in this game. P.J. Walker starting at quarterback for the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey not playing in this game at running back for the Panthers. The Lions missing Kenny Golladay, DeAndre Swift, Danny Amendola on offense. Those were obviously all huge losses on both sides of the ball, but the Lions really can't use injuries as an excuse in this one because the Panthers had plenty on their side.
Sorry, cough button there. Yeah, but no, I agree with you. I think that was a big storyline we talked about early in the week was who's going to play for Carolina. And then obviously we got to game time and, Swift's not playing. Kenny Golladay, we kind of knew wasn't going to play. Amendola didn't play. I think the one guy that the Lions probably really missed today, though, was Danny Amendola. And I only say that because there were so many of those pressures that Carolina was bringing that Amendola has been such kind of a safe haven over the middle for Stafford just to get rid of the ball really quick, and he's going to know exactly where he's going to be. We saw the pressures coming today, and it just looked like every receiver was 30 yards downfield, and Stafford didn't have anywhere to go. So I think they probably missed Danny a little bit more than DeAndre and Kenny, only in that aspect that, you know, you didn't have the underneath route that you could go get a first down on. But you're right. They can't use an excuse. Anytime, you know, if you told me, we talked Thursday, obviously, if you told me Bridgewater, McCaffrey, Russell Okung, the starting left tackle for Carolina, are all going to be out, I would have told you I like the Lions' chances. It didn't really matter. It's probably a good thing that Bridgewater and McCaffrey didn't play today because the score probably only would have been that much worse for the Lions.
Well, Matthew Stafford was also playing through an injury of his own. That was a thumb injury on his throwing hand. He was questionable coming into this game, but he did play today. He spoke with reporters just a few minutes ago in Carolina virtually talking about this game. Let's hear what Stafford had to say about it.
Hey, Matthew, I'm just going to ask this directly. Was today's game plan good enough?
Yeah, we just didn't execute, you know. They were going to play 3 down, drop 8 coverages and fire zones until we got them out of it, and we never did. So kudos to them for playing well, and obviously we didn't play well enough.
And of course, we've got to ask about the thumb. It didn't seem like it bothered you, but just curious how it impacted you today.
You know, as far as throwing the ball, I felt pretty good, so it wasn't too bad.
And then I know we ask you this all the time over the years, but where are you mentally with this team, with this season? This feels like this one's kind of been a start-stop season for you guys all year. Where are you at individually?
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing to lose a game. Obviously, you know, not fun to be a part of a game where we don't score any points. Really don't even threaten it. So, you know, we got to play better on offense to give ourselves a chance to win. You know, but for me, I've done this short week turnaround long enough to know that, you know, it's really important to have a short memory on this one, win or lose, and go out there prepare for a team in Houston that, you know, got a big win today and is an ultra talented team. So we've got, got our work cut out for us.
Thank you, Matthew.
O'Hara.
Yeah, Matthew, obviously you had some guys missing. Where were you impacted most? In the passing game or the running game? Obviously you had some guys missing. Where were you impacted most? In the passing game or the running game, or a combination of both?
That's the name of the game in the NFL. You know, people are going to miss games for whatever reason. This year, especially for all sorts of reasons. But you know, we got to do a better job of you know, next man up, coming out and making plays. Obviously, I can play better. I'm the guy that touches the ball on offense every play. So the better I play, the better we'll play as a team. Just got to be better myself.
All right, thanks.
Dave.
And Matthew, you said you weren't able to get them out of that you know, defense that they were playing all day. So why? I guess if you can just give me your quick assessment on why the game plan didn't work to get them out of that. You know,
it wasn't so much the game plan as it was our execution. You know, it was both run and pass. We just weren't efficient enough to get them out of it. You know, and you know, it's every defensive coordinator's, you know, dream to be up 17 late in the game and being able to dial up every fun blitz you can ever think of. So that part of it is not, you know, not the part where we won or lost the game. We got to be better early on in that game.
It's been a long time since this organization has been shut out. How hard is that to do in the NFL, to hold an offense to, you know, less than 200 yards, 0 points like they did today?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to them. They played well. They've got talented players, you know, but we obviously didn't play as well as we can play. It's one game, you know, doesn't define us as an offense or us as a team. We got to go out there and you know, short order here on Thursday and play better. And I know we'll be motivated to. I know I will. I know guys are, you know, itching to probably, you know, get out there and go make some plays and get that bad taste out of our mouth.
And then last thing for me, you know, there already has been a lot of talk about Matt Patricia's future. There will be going forward. Why does this team still believe in him if it does? I guess just that.
Listen, we're here to play football. That's our job. You know, his job is to coach it, and we appreciate the work that he puts into it. We know that. All of our coaches work their tail off to try and get us out there, get us in good position, and it's on us to go make plays. So, you know, we just show up, work, play. Coach shows up crazy early, stays crazy late, works his tail off, and you know, we got to go execute these game plans a little bit better to help us win.
You guys still responding to him though? I mean, is it still, you still believe in him? All right. Thank you.
Rothstein.
Hey, Matthew, a couple of things that kind of on the similar vein. Is Matt Patricia teaching you all well enough?
You're cutting in and out. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Is Matt Patricia coaching you all well enough? I mean, you're talking about him coming early and execution, but is he coaching you all well enough to win games at this point?
Yeah, we got enough talent to go out there and win. We just got to go do it. We got to go out there and play better than we're playing. I don't care who you are as a coach. If we don't go out there and play well, it doesn't matter. We got to go out there and play better.
And we've seen Barry Sanders, we've seen Calvin Johnson that have been with this franchise for a long time, and they've said that the losing eventually got to them. How do you keep this from getting to you when it's been so similar for so many of the years of your career?
I just continue to work, continue to play. I love playing this game. I like doing it here in Detroit, and you know, it's disappointing to lose. There's no question. It's not, you know, it's not fun to go out there and lose football games and answer these questions from you guys after a loss. So I'll do everything I can. I work my tail off to try and help us win. And you know, obviously I didn't do a good enough job of that this week.
And just the last thing you said, that you feel you have the talent. Why, beyond just the simplicity of execution, why hasn't this talent been able to coalesce enough to win more than you have?
Using big words on me. You know, honestly, you look across the league, everybody's got a ton of talent, and it's the teams that execute that win. That's what it boils down to. You know, the team across the ball from us today has a ton of talent, and they executed better than we did, and that got them a win. So I know it's frustrating for you guys to hear, and you guys don't see that or think that, but we know. We watch tape. We see every team that we play has got players that can break a game open and win a game, including us. And so we got to go out there and be better, you know, when the ball's kicked off on Sunday.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Matthew.
Last one, Jen.
Matthew, with all due respect to the time and effort and hours and work and physical toll you guys exert in this game, you have to go all the way back to your rookie season to find the last time that this team was shut out. How is this not rock bottom?
It's just one football game, you know. You know, 2 weeks ago we played well. Believe me, I got here in 2009, and you know, from where we are then to where we are now. We're a better organization, a better football team, more talented. At the moment, we don't have as many wins as we wish we had this year. But it's one football game. We got to move on from it and get ready to go play another one and hopefully score a bunch of points and win the game.
Thank you.
The message from Matthew Stafford is that this was just one game, not indicative of their entire season, and he puts this one on the players not executing well enough. We're not quite done here on the post-game show. We've still got to talk main takeaways from this game, as well as preview that matchup right here at Ford Field on Thanksgiving Day this Thursday. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this break.
This year, it's been more challenging for kids to get 60 minutes of play every day.
And while some of our favorite team sports and activities might not be happening, there's still a ton kids can do.
There's running, bike riding,
Yoga, very calming.
I think that's karate.
And even dancing.
He's got some moves. To see more ways to help kids be active,
visit healthiermichigan.org.
If we don't have live music, everybody will be lost.
America's bars, clubs, and stages need our help.
For each stream of this song, Crown Royal will donate to these cultural landmarks.
Let's make sure they stay.
Welcome back into the Detroit Lions post-game show presented by Priority Health. I'm Tori Petrie. TJ Lang's down at the Henry Ford Health System update desk. TJ, we've talked a lot about what went wrong for the Lions in this game. They now drop to 4-6, a tough loss for this team that was really hoping to get back to the 500 mark. What's your main takeaway from this game in Carolina?
I guess the main takeaway is don't worry who's playing for the other team, right? It kind of seemed like, hey, Teddy Bridgewater's not going to play. McCaffrey's out. Hey, we got a good chance. And then you come out a little bit flat, a little bit de-energized, and Carolina punches you in the mouth. I think that's the one big thing is you've right now 10 games into this thing. You only got 6 left. You're kind of, if you're Detroit Lions, you're kind of into must-win mode at this point, especially if you want a chance to make the playoffs or you want a chance to make a run towards the end of the season. I think you have to come out with much more fire, much more energy, much more motivation, whatever you want to say, because today, like we talked about earlier, with a chance especially to get back to 5-5 before Thanksgiving against Deshaun Watson, another chance to maybe get to a winning record and come out and play the way that they played was very disappointing. I know there's nobody watching Coach Patricia and Matthew Stafford talk. I mean, we could say these guys are disappointed. Those guys, there's nobody more disappointed than those guys, trust me. They put all the work in throughout the week. They put all the work in the meeting rooms, in the weight room, and on the practice field, and they know it's unacceptable to go play that way. So it's rare, I think, to see those guys play like that with a lack of juice and lack of energy. But hopefully this was just kind of, like you said, like you heard Stafford say, one game. Hopefully it was just kind of an anomaly going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions certainly did not have the game that they expected to have today, but now they've only got 4 days to turn things around on Thanksgiving Day here at Ford Field, and only 4 days to get some guys healthy who missed out on this game in Carolina. How important does this game against the Texans on Thanksgiving become after the performance today against the Panthers?
Oh, it's big. Like I just said, I mean, I know the coach isn't going to say it, the players aren't going to say it, but when you're on the outside looking in like we are right now, you see a 4-6 football team and their only chance is to probably win out. Maybe you can afford one more loss, and it starts this week. I know it's a short week. It's always tough for the players to turn around tomorrow, start to get your body right, start to get healthy. It's week 12. Everybody's kind of beat up. There's not one person in that locker room that's feeling 100%, so you're going to have to put some extra time in this week. But you thought P.J. Walker was a challenge today. You should go watch the game that Deshaun Watson had today against New England. I mean, he was just unbelievable. He's a dynamic player, one of the best athletes in the NFL, great thrower, great runner. I mean, it's definitely going to be a big challenge. And then the Texans have some good playmakers on the defensive side of the ball as well. But you get a chance. There's nothing better than playing football and playing a game like this and just having that disgusting taste in your mouth than to turn around 4 days later, especially this week, and try to go clean it. So, yeah, it's going to be a big game. You know, I don't think anybody in that locker room is giving up. Certainly it didn't sound like Matthew Stafford or any of the other guys were ready to give up. They know they've got still a fighting chance, and sometimes that's all you need in this league. You need a fighting chance, but you got to take it game by game, and obviously Thursday is going to be a big chance for them to kind of get back on track and maybe see if they can make a run here towards the end of the season.
Well, to your point, the New England Patriots the Texans beat the New England Patriots 27-20 today. So they're coming into this Thanksgiving Day game off of a win. The Lions obviously coming off of a disappointing shutout. Like you said, just over a month left to play in this season. After today's Week 11 game, where do you feel like this leaves the Lions?
Well, they need to win. I think that's the one thing that sticks out. They need to win. And obviously they're going to, probably be disappointed with this game today on the flight back. It's not going to be a very good flight coming back from Carolina. Tomorrow morning's probably going to be tough as you have to rewatch it and kind of learn from the mistakes. But the good part is by tomorrow afternoon they're going to be moving on, and that's the beauty of football. You get to move on after a couple hours of sulking about a loss or celebrating a win, and they get a chance to come back and play Thursday, which is always, growing up here in Detroit, Thanksgiving Day game is always one of the great traditions in this city, in this state. So, but yeah, Tori, they have to win. I mean, it's not a label that the coaches are going to say. Nobody's going to say it's must win, maybe except for us on the outside, but we all kind of see the writing on the wall as of right now. It's not the track that they thought they were going to be on at this point, 10 games into the season, but it is what it is. You are what your record says. You got to go out there, try to find a way to get back to 5-6. After that, try to get to 6-6, and who knows, maybe you can make a run.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. We certainly will miss having fans in here on Thanksgiving Day. That's always the most fun game of the season, just for the atmosphere. Things will look a little bit different this year, but don't you guys worry. We'll still be here with a pregame show and a postgame show on Thanksgiving Day, so make sure you tune into that while you're eating your turkey and getting ready for your Thanksgiving lunch on Thursday. We hope we'll see you then. TJ, thank you so much for joining us to break down this game. That does it for us here on the Detroit Lions postgame show presented by Priority Health for Week 11. We'll see you back here for the pregame show on Thanksgiving Day in Week 12.